Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Message of Hope. And today I'm with Rudi and Jules Kennard, who very happily accepted my little invitation to be part of this little project. And they are from Innate Evolution. Uh, Welcome, Rudi. Welcome, Jules.
Thank
And
you. It's lovely to.
I will ask you the same question that I've been asking everyone so far. Is that how does having this understanding, how does that help you navigate whatever situation shows up in your life, or COVID or lockdown? How does that help you?
Wow, that's a beautiful question. I guess seeing thought for what it is. It's thought, and that it's not real. Because I could find myself being very creative and thinking, okay, we have a mandate lockdown for so many days. And then I start thinking beyond that and getting very creative and thinking about what I'm going to do next and what's going to happen next and what I'm going to do next after that. But then realizing, I'm doing it again. It's thought, and it's not real. And that brings me back down to that underlying essence, that beautiful space of silence that's within us all, where the wisdom lies, where it just rests so beautifully. And from there, I move forward until it happens again. Because it's not that I move forward from that space continually. It is like an inchworm. Like a contraction and an expansion, a contraction and an expansion. It's almost as though the contraction, the thought, the crazy train of thoughts is in contrast beautiful, because my expansion, the relief, realizing that it's just thought, is so much more expansive. There's a freedom, more of a freedom from that space, if that makes any sense. It's almost like I need to contract to expand and move forward. Yeah.
Sometimes we forget we're human, right? And sometimes we totally forget that. We get caught up, and then.
I was so excited when you said messages of hope, because we do facilitator training. And this year, my daughter's never heard about anything. She just saw grace unfolding and love and compassion after her younger sister was in her fatal car accident, my youngest daughter. And so she's always been kind of curious, but this year she's on our facilitator training. And so the very first day of the facilitator training, we asked everybody if they could describe their experience in one word. I think it was after the weekend. And she said, hope. And so I just thought that was so beautiful. And when you asked for us to speak, I needed to tell that story, because it's almost like it came full circle. So she's under the wing of understanding now, if that's a metaphor. Yeah. You can go.
Oh, okay. I guess there's a sense of empowerment when you know where experience comes from, because if you don't, it looks like the coronavirus, the situation, what's happening in the world, is directly causal to how you feel. And then you're disempowered because you can't change that. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. It's out of your control. But when you see, there is a coronavirus in the world, there is lockdown, there is these things happening factually, but we get to experience those things via our internal perception of those things. There's a missing link. The missing link is thought. We are literally feeling what we think in the moment we think it about the lockdown, not the fact of the lockdown. Because I recently did, we recently did a webinar on the coronavirus, didn't we? Yeah, a few months ago now. And we asked people at the start, from a scale of 1 to 10, how kind of worried, stressed, freaked out about the coronavirus are you? And the average mark, there's about 100 people. The average mark was 8 out of 10. So people were pretty freaked out about it. At the end of the webinar, we asked the same people the same question, and it went down to 2 out of 10. So that's like a 400% decrease in worry and stress about the coronavirus. Now, the coronavirus in the world hasn't changed, but people's perceptions of it changed. And so that's just, I mean, this is a true story, but again, it acts as a metaphor. Like, we are feeling our internal perception. We're living, Jules says that we're living in the emotions of our thinking.
Yeah, having an emotional response to our thought in the moment.
Yeah, so we're literally living in the emotions of what we think about the coronavirus, not the fact of the coronavirus. And so knowing that you're empowered, because now you're not struggling with an uncontrollable thing in the world. You have liberty and empowerment because you're literally just feeling what the thoughts are popping into your mind. It's an internal job. Knowing it's an inside job, the only worry that we have is we just have to deal with our own thinking rather than dealing with what's going on out there. And seeing the truth of that, it quietens your mind and you just naturally fall into innate essence that Jules was talking about before, that place of acceptance of what is. And with an acceptance of what is and the lack of resistance to it, a quieter mind unfolds like a rose unfurling. Like, it's like a rose. When the outside world is making you feel like you feel, you're contracted because you're a victim to life. You're out of your control.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you realize, as the flower unfolds, as you realize it's all an inside job, and you're empowered and you can react however you want or see it however you want, be whoever you want and do whatever you want. It's a totally different paradigm of how experience works. And it's a paradigm, a way in which life works. That's what I mean by paradigm. It's a way in which we can just be with what is as it is. And from the silence comes the roaring power of renewal and creativity and becoming different.
That's beautiful.
I know.
It does bring so much hope, because when we realize, because our thinking looks so real, right? and knowing that it's just made up. And how did you call it? The roaring?
I don't know what I'm saying when I'm saying it.
He never remembers.
The roaring silence of something. Because although, and we call it creative constructions, because we're creating a construction of the world via inside.
Yeah.
So it's not as if we're making up the coronavirus or making up who has been elected or making up that maybe a member of your family's ill. You're not really making it up, but we're creating our experience of those definite things in the world. It's all an inside job. Knowing it's an inside job, and all you have to deal with is you're thinking about what you're thinking about, not the thing. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty empowering.
Yeah.
And never criticize yourself because you're forgotten.
Oh, I know.
Exactly. Yeah, it's almost like I'm doing it again. Good job. Good job for noticing.
Yeah.
We can be grateful that we notice. And I noticed that the time of my creative story, which is very creative, and the time I realized that I'm creating the story, the gap is closing.
Yeah.
It's not fully closed. Sometimes on days, it's quite wide, but generally it's closing.
I like the metaphor because I used to do athletics. On the blocks and the markers, on your marks.
Yeah.
Get ready, and you're waiting for the bang to go off. Is like before, I just kept doing false starts because I didn't know that the starter signal meant this is how life worked. And what's happening now, my reaction speed. So I'm in this creative construction, and it's the world, and it's Jules, and it's my bank account, or it's what's happening in the world making me feel like I feel. I'm in this creative construction, like this hypnosis. And now my reaction speed, so I'm seeing it quicker and quicker and quicker. Oh, I'm creating this. I'm literally living in my creation, not the world. So I'm seeing it quicker and quicker and quicker. So I'm getting quicker on the blocks.
Yeah.
Seeing it for what it is. But like you said, Martine, it's beautiful because part of the understanding is we will absolutely, humanly and naturally and inevitably forget that it works this way.
Right.
And now I don't care that most of the time I'm in amnesia. I don't care that I can forget for days at a time or minutes or hours. It's just normal. So I'm grateful when I see it, and when I don't see it, I don't see it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Well, that was beautiful. Thank you very much, Jules and Rudi. Thank you very much for your wisdom and for your time. And if people want to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
Well, we're on Facebook, Innate Evolution, and Instagram, Rudi and Jules, or Innate Evolution, and innateevolution.com is our website.
And they have good courses, lots of free stuff and all kinds of neat courses. So people go and visit them.
We're working on another course.
We are. We've got literally hundreds and hundreds of free videos and very topical short 10-minute videos around a meditative mind, well-being, resilience,
a grumpy friend,
goal setting, difficult people, like lots of topical things around this understanding that are just really user-friendly. And we're creating new courses, so we're excited.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Because I've taken 2 of your courses. So
yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.